All right, we've got some new revelations to cover. I would like to point out that the ketamine clinic, which is likely involved in the raid of my house with the result of the DMT scam that the police are running, asked me to do a urine screen, and which, should be standard practice for that sort of clinic. You have to distinguish between the corruption and the system. However, when I called LABCORP to schedule an appointment, first person I spoke to on the phone, after they confirmed that I had an order in the system, the call got dropped. Whether they hung up on me or not, I don't know. The second person, when I confirmed that I had an order, then when I asked them to schedule an appointment for me, then said, no, but I can't schedule an appointment for you, but I can transfer you. They transferred me to a line that said, we don't schedule we don't schedule appointments over the phone. Use the website at this, that, and the other. And I'm like, okay, you could have just said that. You could have just said that instead of routing me to a dead end. So I called back. They said it's a third different person, that they didn't speak to me before. So the second time I called, that was a completely different person, apparently. The third time I called, apparently that was a completely different person. Which, I'm starting to realize might not actually be the case. Probably was the same person who was just saying, oh, no, I didn't speak to you before. And I just mentioned, if this is recorded, then, in which they confirmed it was, then, hey, maybe it's not the most efficient thing to route someone to a dead end instead of just telling them to use the website. And they took note of that. And I went to use the website, and guess what it said when I made an appointment? Error on our end. Their website errored and the appointment could not be made. So I called back to let them know, and they said, all operators are currently assisting other patients, or something to that effect, all clients or whatever. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, probably not. They probably just didn't want to talk to me again. So I left a message pointing out that these things, essentially. And the only logical conclusion I can come to here is that that's a corrupt lab that is intentionally bypassing police officers and passing their urine screens when they shouldn't be passing their urine screens. That level of corruption in a system usually indicates that sort of thing. And that was the Alexandria LABCORP. Now, it might not be limited. I would be surprised if it's limited to this one location. But I'd like to point out that if there's corruption at that level, on the administrative level, noting that they say they don't require an appointment anyway, just pointing that out, that you can just walk in. However, from a systems engineering perspective and a signal flow perspective, that indicates other issues, such as, like I said, passing law enforcement drug tests who shouldn't be passing because they have illegal drugs in their systems. And I wonder what that could have to do with the fact that a SWAT team raided my house. I wonder what that has to do with the ketamine clinic. I wonder what that has to do with Sic Semper Tyrannis. I wonder what that has to do with sealing, with seals, with the fact that there's a seal that says Sic Semper Tyrannis. I wonder.